What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Happy draft day. It's me, Drubert. I'm here with my co-caster for this evening's festivities, Delta. What's up, Delta?
Hello, this is my first time here behind this side of the auction. I'm normally the one being bidded on. So this is gonna be interesting to watch for the first time.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
excited.
it's pretty exciting. You will get to see the bird's eye view as the dollars start to fly. If you've not tuned in for a draft show before, this is how we kick off the official season here at Odyssey. You see on the list, top to bottom, we have our captains for this season: Phaser, Troll, Zexus, Talia, and Azuka. They all have $200 to spend for this evening, and they will be bidding on players to round out their teams here. It'll be exciting. The dollars will fly. People will overbid. People will underbid. And at the end of the night, we will have 5 teams descending into the season. But it'll definitely be fun. Anything you're expecting or looking forward to, Delta? Anything you think we'll see?
I mean, this is my first time on this side of the auction, so I don't know. I think anything could happen, frankly. There's there's 2 new faces to the auction draft, as far as I'm aware. Phaser and Zexus is their first time on the bidding side, so it'll be interesting to see what their strategy is going in. I've spoken to a few of the captains, and I think there's going to be a few favorites across the board. I'm not going to name any names at the moment, but we'll see as the draft unfolds.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point. There are definitely a lot of different strategies you can take in auction draft. There's a lot of mind games you can play. You can, put a player up on the block that you might not yourself want, but you just know that people will bid, and you can kind of drive up the prices there, try and get people to spend. That way, when your actual pick comes up later, you're the one with the most money. But that can definitely backfire too. So we'll have to see. Yeah, I think that is true. Phaser and Zex is both new to auction draft format. Troll and Talia have done it before. Azuka as well has been here. So a mix of captains, and we'll have to see if that really comes into play. Do you have a prediction? I think we'll be ready here in a few minutes, but do you have a prediction who the first player nominated will be? Or does chat have a prediction too? If you have a prediction, put it in chat. But yeah, who do you think is first up on the block?
First up on the block. I'm gonna make a bold prediction here, just knowing the connections around the server. I think Guilty's going first.
Okay.
I think Guilty's going first. I know he has a few connections with Infernia. There's several Infernia players on the board there. Some are still current, some are former. And I think he's going to be very high prio. So that's my bold prediction for the night. I think Guilty's going first. And if I'm going to add another bold prediction on top of it, I think he's going to be the highest bid of the night.
Okay, and if you want to triple down and just really set yourself up for failure, what's your prediction for dollar value?
I'm gonna keep this one on the safe side. I'm just gonna say about 100.
Okay, so you heard it here, everybody. If Guilty isn't the first one up and he doesn't go for 100, then we can all
you can all point and laugh.
We can all point and laugh.
And if I am correct and he goes first, and he does go for 100, you can look at me like I'm the prophet.
Yeah, there you go. It's that'll be a win. So some votes in the chat. We had Jin, we had Thrasher, 2 votes for Thrasher actually. So that's just some of the predictions there. We'll probably get started here in a second. And I think, yeah, no, we're underway here. So as you can see, we'll walk you through what you're going to expect to see tonight. You see on the block, Kizak, the position he plays, and then up in the top of the screen, you see the dollar starting to fly. So 50 from Phaser, 52 from Talia, 53 from Troll. You can track it up there. They're all bidding on this opening player here on the block.
Yeah, Kizak, I'd argue Kizak is probably the strongest mid laner heading into this season. And oh wow, that's a super fast pickup already. In fact, I'd argue that's a steal.
Troll locks it in for 53 and gets Kizak on his team. A primate experiment. So now as we proceed through, you'll see Troll is next up. So he's going to nominate a player, and then we'll begin the second round of bidding. Thrasher, there we go. As predicted by in the chat, he is an early player up for bid here. And here we go. $10 from Ajuka, 30 from Talia. How high will it go for here? 40 from Phaser.
Yeah, the bids are going to start flying, and ideally when you make these bids, you want to keep them generally uneven for the most part. It becomes a bit more psychological when you get to a certain point where you're not on like a friendly number, so like you want to keep it off the 5s, off the 10s. Keep it off those numbers, and you start to play mind games with your opponents. So like 51, this is a good number. In fact, it should go higher.
It should, but it doesn't. Actually...
Well, actually, there is a fair point against that. There's scheduling.
It's gonna be a $51 bid from Phaser. He'll pick up Thrasher there. Super interesting. They're both junglers, so one of them is gonna be off rolling on that team, which definitely makes this a little bit harder to predict as we go through the draft, not knowing where those players will go. And you can see Anna, ADC primary, up on the block, $42 bid, opening up here Zexus with $42, and we'll see if anyone wants to contest him on that.
Wow, no, wow, these early bids so far, there's absolutely no contest from any of the captains. Yeah, I think this.
Interestingly enough, opening with a $42 bid is like a strong message, but you could have started as low as $5 and just, you know what I meant, like bid up. So it's like you can open up strong like that to kind of dissuade people from bidding against you, but there's definitely some strategy there at play too.
There is Guilty on the board.
$30 Talia opening bid. People debating Troll in with a strong 50.
Yeah, Guilty being put up on the block. Super flexible player. Yes. I know his off roll says top, but really he plays everything but jungle.
Yeah.
So
he'll even play jungle if push comes to shove.
Yeah, but correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he also coaches some of the Infernia teams at the moment. So there's going to be a lot of connections there.
Yeah.
I'm expecting some of these captains to go high on it, Phaser and Troll particular.
Yeah, Phaser's in at $75 bid. Troll will one up him with 76.
Yeah.
Out of all the captains bidding, Talia is the one who hasn't spent money yet, so she could come in and there it is with a late bid, $85.
Ajuka's also waiting. It seems like Ajuka doesn't want to bid on this one.
Yeah, and we've seen Ajuka play pretty close to the vest in past drafts where he doesn't bid until his players are up, and Phaser will lock that in.
Wow, what?
$90 for Guilty. Going over the Sky Splitters.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but is that both the Diamond players off the board?
It is. So there are 2 Diamond players in the pool, Thrasher and Guilty, and they both went over to Sky Splitters. It does leave him with depleted resources, but that might not matter. That might not matter with the strong pickups he's already got.
Things got interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if the captains are panicking right now.
It is possible. Jin is up. ADC primary. Ajuka put him up for $5 opening bid. So that's kind of like the opposite of the strategy Zexus went with. You start super low. It does invite some back and forth bidding war, but as you can see there, if no one bids against you, you're able to just get the player you want for a steal.
Yeah, now you get to pick up his friend for $5.
Yeah. Saves a lot of money in the tank for maybe a big splashy spend later. We've got Chad on the board. Strong opening bid, 50 from Phaser. Talia comes in with 55, which is a strong counter. She can certainly outbid Phaser. Phaser's basically out of the running right here. He can't bid up at this point. So it's really between Zexus and Talia. You see Talia one up to 70.
Yeah, I expect this one just to go a tiny bit further if it's not going to sit at 70 here.
Yep. It's like going once, going twice.
Going twice? It is actually just going to sit at 70.
For the Essence Thieves, Talia gets her top laner, Chad, over there. So every team now has at least one player picked up. Sky Splitters has 2. Most money in the draft at Juka, and we'll see who gets nominated next. There's a Troll's logo. Quite fond of his logo there.
I'm very proud of it. I'm happy with it.
So we've got Smokestacks, another strong top laner in the pool. Phaser is bidding against Troll at the moment. 54 from Phaser, 55 from Troll. Zexus in with The $69 bid Troll goes up by $1 to 70.
I wouldn't be surprised if Troll goes really expensive here because he'll have that top siding for Neo Core.
Yeah. No, that's a great point. Zexus does bid him up 75. 76 from Troll. Zexus does have the war chest to actually outbid Troll if push comes to shove, but we'll see how high these players want to go.
Yeah.
80 from Zexus.
Yeah, ideally, I do think Zexus does have to try and contest it here. I don't think you can really let that go for free at the moment.
Yeah, no, I think you have to bid up regardless. 81 from Troll, 83 from Zexus. These players are both.
This could easily push 90 here.
Yeah. 87. At this
Just
point,
$3 more.
if you're Troll, you're trying to figure out if you spend most of your money to pick up smoke, do you have enough left in the tank to round out your bot lane?
Yeah, and then the other question you have to ask yourself is, when do you stop, right?
Yep.
When do you stop? When is enough? It seems like both these captains, they're still going for it. They want smoke on their team.
If Troll gets us at $91, I think he'll be happy with the top side of his map. He does lock it in.
There it is.
But that puts Phaser and Troll in a bit of a pickle when it comes to rounding out their teams. Though I think they'll be happy with their first two pickups. So we'll have to see. A Primate Experiment Troll will have to figure out EDC and support with his remaining 50 and some change. And Phaser, it's a bit hard to say what he needs because, like I said, either him or Thrasher have to off-roll at this point, and Guilty, like you mentioned, is super flexible. So his team's a bit harder to read. We've got our first, first support up on the block for tonight. Haya is up with a $50 opening bid from Zexus.
Oh, and he just gets it straight away.
Hey, Zexus knows the players he wants.
Yeah, he knows the players he wants. He's just getting them. He's not really getting contested on anything. Yeah. So that probably means Zexus will either be playing jungle or top.
Most likely, right? Yeah, so that's a good point. Zexus could off-roll into jungle without much of an issue. He definitely played a lot of jungle in Scouting Grounds, and he does play top as well. So definitely some options there. Talia opens with a $30 bid for Hero Joe.
Hero Joe, one of the newcomers. Yeah, one of the newcomers. Do you mind talking about it?
I can, yeah. Hero Joe. We saw him play Lee Sin very proficiently in Scouting Grounds. He likes aggressive junglers, early game junglers, likes to be able to make plays around the map, and not shy of fighting. And I think Talia will definitely be happy with that pickup as the mid lane captain in the pool. Definitely important to have a jungler that you are comfortable with, and I think she'll be happy to pick up Hero Joe here for $30.
Yeah, waiting for Juka's bell on the block. I think so far these teams are generally pretty evenly matched for the most part, I want to say, given that you also take into account scheduling.
Yeah. No, definitely taking into account scheduling. On face value, you might think Sky Splitters, just from like a rank standpoint, is the runaway favorite. But the thing that has me pause is that Thrasher and Phaser, like one of them has to off-roll at this point. So that does kind of cut slightly into their power a bit. Nothing they can't overcome, but it's just interesting. Shugo picks up his top laner there. I think that player went by the name of TSM is Garbage, if you're watching Scouting Grounds.
I think his name is TSM Garbage.
That's his league name. So I'm trying to think, he played jungle and top a lot of the time. So that might be their jungle pickup, if I had to guess. Even though he's listed as top, I'm thinking it's jungle because I doubt Juka would off-roll.
Yeah, I would highly doubt the same thing as well. Revenger put up on the board.
Yeah, strong support lane player.
Yeah, and I could see once again the two Infernia captains going really hard on this one.
Yep. I think Juka and Talia also need supports, so they can also swoop in and just outbid Phaser and Troll if it comes down to it.
Yeah.
If this is the support that they want on their squad. Yeah,
I think the two front runners for this will be Phaser and Troll, however, both having those connections. Revenger playing on the main Infernia roster at the moment, and Thrasher being really close friends with Revenger as well on Sky Splitters. So Either one of the captains could go really hard for this if they really want the support pickup.
Yeah, it's sitting at $46 bid from Troll. So it'd certainly help round out his team. He is going to lock it in. He's missing.
Gee, this sure looks like the Infernio roster. There's no way he gets Miyagi for $10. Am I right? Am I right, chat? There's no way that happens.
That would be unexpected.
That would be a first. I'm surprised he's gotten 4 parts so far.
He's had to spend to do it. He's down to $10.
There's no. Oh, hey, look who's on the board. There's no way you give it to him for $10, right?
I don't think he'll get Miyagi. Yeah, Phaser just bids him up to 11.
Okay, I was about to say.
Can't complete the bid. And we'll see how this goes. There are a couple people who need ADCs. Essence Thieves also needs an ADC. Sky Splitters as well. Those are probably the 2 main contenders looking at who has been picked up. So it's going to come down to Talia and Phaser. This is Talia's ADC to lose, basically. She can't outbid
this is definitely going to be the break point of the auction right now. You pretty much have to spend like most of your money here.
Yeah. We'll see. Phaser. Talia's just debating if she wants Miyagi or if maybe she just wants to run up Phaser down to his last penny.
I think you go as high as you need to here.
I think I tend to agree. I think Miyagi would be a solid pickup at ADC.
Yeah, when you get to these lower numbers here and you see that other people have a max bid, you bid on their max bid because you're not going to take a dollar out of loan and basically like, here you go. I put 55 when you can only put 54, right?
Yep.
You can't make wine out of water.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah, that's what they said in the Bible. At least I think.
That's what they say. Talia picks up her ADC, so we are seeing a Primate Experiment and Essence Thieves almost round out their squads. Zexus will open up with a $20 bid for Mango Jungler.
$20. I don't think he's going to get contested on this because all the other teams have junglers. In fact, you could make an argument Zexus could have put $5 and he would have got him for 5.
I think that's a fair argument to make. I think that's a fair
he picked him up. He picked him up regardless, so he gets his jungler. But I mean, hey, it's just something to think about. You save yourself $15, and then you got $15 more to bid on your last player here.
Yeah, we'll have to see if that comes up if he loses out by a couple bucks on his last pickup. So looking at Beans, captained by Zexus, I think you are right. He's probably going to go top, potentially. Yeah. Mango also can off-roll top, so there's a little bit of up in the air there. But I think definitively Zexus is looking for a mid laner with his last spot. That's for sure. Speaking of mid laners, Sinja up on the board, $30 for Talia.
Yeah, Sinja, also former member of Infernia and now part of TSI. I know he has a fair amount of comp experience. I know he likes to trash talk me and the community chat quite a bit, calling me Team Saber. But yeah. We get our first completed team, which I think that means Talia might be flexing into the support role. I think that would probably make the most sense.
Because that's the first team. So we've got Chad, Hero Joe, most likely Sinja mid, Mr. Miyagi, and then Talia as support. So that's going to be Essence Thieves, our first completed team of the night.
That's a really well-rounded squad for the most part. My only concern is probably bot lane. Talia doesn't play much outside the mages for the most part. So if you ever need to pivot the hard engage, I think that gets a bit iffy there.
Yeah, it's going to be on like Chad and Hero Joe, presumably, if you need those hard engage champions. Like it's going to have to come from those two roles, which I think you definitely can work around it. So, but it is something to consider. They're going to have to fit into that strategy.
Yeah.
We'll have to see what Azuka puts up here. It's going to be Kimchi, which also goes by Small PP Weeb, if you were watching the Scouting Grounds.
There's no way. There's also no way that Azuka just runs back into Trees 2.0. There's no way that happens, right?
He can't because I'm not in the draft, so he by default can't.
But like he'll get both of his friends, all right? I mean,
I think it's actually gonna happen.
I think he's gonna go for it. He has the most budget right now.
Yeah, he's got the war chest. Only Zexus could outbid him. Or no, only Zexus could bid him up rather, but he can outbid Zexus. So I think this is just gonna happen, to be honest.
Yeah.
Zexus doesn't need a mid laner, but like if this is Ajuka's guy, like he just has the wallet at this point to lock it in.
Yeah, and if I'm Majuka here and Zexus wants to keep bidding, you just slam 88 right here. Like you slam 88, and then
No,
Zexus can't beat you on it.
Ajuka's gonna make him go up dollar for dollar all the way.
Okay.
There it is.
Well, if you slammed 88 there, you wouldn't have to spend the extra dollar. I don't know if the extra dollar is going to cost you much, but I mean, you wouldn't have to spend it. You'd have an extra dollar.
So we've got, presumably they're just missing the support on Ornn's OnlyFans for Ajuka, and then that'll complete that team too. It can't be me, so they can't run back in the trees because it can't be me. So
yeah,
they'll have to pivot at the support position here.
It'll be interesting to see what these last few pickups are. I mean,
so if we look across the board, Ajuka needs a support, Zexus needs a mid laner, Troll needs an AD carry, and I'll let you guess what Phaser needs. I'm not sure. Phaser
he needs
needs two more
lane. That's what he needs, I think. I think he just needs a bot lane.
Yeah, I think so. Unless Thrasher's his support.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to say. Kyo going up for $11 bid. Phaser taking the lead here. Troll did bid $10, but I don't know. He doesn't need. He needs an ADC. So I think, yeah, it's just going to go over to Phaser.
Yeah, there could be an argument that Ajuka could take him. I guess he just really didn't care to take Kyo.
Yep, that's the other team that needs the support for sure. It's going to be interesting. Phaser and Troll both need AD carries. So,
and there's one AD carry that's on my mind, and I'm assuming he's going to be put on the block right now. Yep,
there it is.
Yeah, there he is.
That's the max bid for Troll. So if Phaser wants Ronnie,
please just put $11 as out of disrespect. Okay, never mind.
I don't think any other teams need an AD carry, so I think this just gets locked in, and that'll round out the Sky Splitters.
Yeah, it doesn't particularly seem like any other team needs an AD carry. I mean, that roster does look scary, so
it does. It definitely does. So I would imagine.
Phaser's going top.
Phaser top, Thrasher jungle, Guilty mid, and Ronnie and Kyosuke support. Yeah,
that is a very scary jungle mid duo you're gonna have to deal with.
Yeah. Zexus waiting in the wings here. He needs a mid laner. He's the only team that needs a mid laner, so we'll see who he puts up. It is interesting to note that Ajuka, you could have a mid laner off-roll support fairly easily, so we might see some bidding coming from Ajuka, depending on who gets put up here. But we'll have to wait and see.
Oh, that's a name I haven't seen in a while. Snyderman put up on the board.
Yeah, Snyderman listed as a top laner, but very comfortable, very at home in the mid lane as well. Kind of famous around these parts for his mid lane gangplank.
Yeah.
Zexus comes out with $71, which that makes sense as an opening bid because it prices out Ajuka. So Zexus just gets his team rounded out here with Snyderman, presumably going in mid lane.
Yeah, and that team has a lot of flexibility as well. Really, any of the players can play their off roles pretty well for the most part. I think that team, even though they might not be as high ranked, I think they're gonna have pretty good vibes across the board. So
yeah,
I'm excited to see what that team can do.
As am I. Talia is out of the running, so it's really just down to Troll and Ajuka. It's interesting. One needs an ADC, one needs a support. So basically, we might see these captains take a minute because they're just essentially Ajuka's going to peruse the entire draft pool and just nominate the support he wants, and then he'll get it. And then Troll will just peruse the draft pool, nominate the ADC he wants, and get it. So Eli up on the board, gonna be taken over on Ajuka's team or OnlyFans. Mid lane primary, but Saw him play quite a few support games and scouting rounds as well. Looked quite proficient in the bot
Yeah,
lane. So
I'm surprised Eli wasn't put up on the board earlier. I think he's definitely one of the stronger mids this tourney.
yeah,
I'd argue probably top 2 with Kizak.
yeah. It's the mid pool. The mid pool is deep. It's a deep, deep pool of players. So could have something there. And we're gonna see who the last player is here to round out the auction draft. It's just basically whoever troll wants to play ADC. They're gonna go up and they're gonna join his team.
What options does he even have left? That's my question.
Well, it's gonna have to be an off roll, unless troll himself off rolls. So you always have that as an option. I think if he off rolled, it would cut into some of the synergy that he has drafted himself in terms of the top side of the map. And yeah, there you go. Key primary jungle, but you know, is also at home in the bot lane, can off roll ADC. Fantastic Zeri player. And that's going to round out a primate experiment.
And yeah, with that final pick, that rounds out the entire draft. Actually, what are your initial thoughts on this?
These drafts always go so fast. Let me see. I think if you just look at on paper rank, obviously Sky Splitters jumps to the top in terms of just the talent and the ranks that were drafted on that team. But you can't discredit the fact that you've got probably 2 of the strongest junglers on the same team. So we'll have to see how they kind of adapt to that off-roll situation. If they can make it work, Sky Splitters definitely seems like they'll be quite scary. And I want to say Essence Thieves is really, I think you called it out, they're super well balanced, like from top to bottom. Like,
yeah,
I feel like they're a very well balanced drafted team. So I don't see any like spots on that team. I think all those lanes can hold their own. What about you? Anything jump out?
I generally agree with you on that. I think Sky Splitters and Essence Thieves are probably going to be top 2 heading into the season. With a primary experiment, probably third. I think Essence Thieves might have a stronger earlier week, just being better, well-rounded across the board.
Yeah.
However, I do think Sky Splitters towards the later part of the season, I think they will become the favorite.
Yeah, I could definitely see Orange OnlyFans and Primate Experiment having good synergies like right out of the gate. So maybe teams look out for early as well with just some built-in synergy. And then Beans definitely, they're gonna have a good time. They've got some skilled players. I think they're gonna come out, surprise some folks, but yeah, as you said, the vibes on that team are gonna be solid. So we'll have to see what they can cook up here. Any parting thoughts here? I'm just perusing chat. There's so much rage that the 2 diamond players got on the same team.
Yeah, don't worry. I feel the same rage too.
Yeah, I did, but the one of them, but there's actually neither of them technically have to off roll if Phaser does. You could have both diamond players in their primary positions. Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. Like you said, if Phaser off rolls, then you keep Thrasher and Guilty in their primaries. That's pretty scary.
Yeah, and both players know how to set up each other super well, just in terms of role fundamentals. So I think that's definitely, like, without a doubt, going to be the strongest mid jungle.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you enjoyed your first auction draft, Delta. Is great having you.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting watching it from this side. I've never seen it from this side. I've always been the one with the numbers going up.
I know sometimes you're like, I did not see that coming, or sometimes you just want to like scream through your monitor.
Yeah.
But they can't hear you. Well, everyone can hear us except the captains. So, but yeah, no, it was exciting. I think overall, I'm excited to see all 5 of these teams take to the Rift. We'll be back next Sunday with the first games, 8:30 on this channel. So we'll have the first week worth of games, and back by popular demand, I believe we're going to have Ferris and Claire, dynamic casting duo from the off season, joining yet again to open up week 1. So definitely want to come back and check out what these teams can do after a week of practice.